This is the best possible start for Rangers in Ashes of Creation, completely solo. This guide will get you to level 8 with best in slot pre-level 10 weapons, and will also guide you on what to do to get to level 10 very, very quickly. You'll become so overpowered to solo with ease, and begin to smash level 10 content on your own. This guide is simple, easy, effortless, no luck required, no hoping for RNG to be on your side, all completely solo, with no guild, no friends, and no grouping required. Let's get into it. Make sure that to follow this guide that you choose the starting location, Divine Gateway of the Dunes in Kel. The reason we're choosing this over Ayla is because it's way more streamlined, there's way more resources to gather, more mobs to grind, the questing is way more tight-knit, faster, more efficient. It's an overall just better starting zone, and it's less populated. This is known as the Anvils. Even though it's still a work in progress, they're going to continue to work on this area rather than the Riverlands, which is down here. So again, choose Dunes in Kel as your starter location. So when you spawn into the game world, you'll notice that your character starts with a two-handed spear and a longbow. We want to get rid of the spear and get a great sword instead. The reason why we want a great sword is it's easier to cleave in front of us. It's also easier to apply bleed, but it has a lot more attack power than what we currently have. And when we are doing our starter quests, the starter quests do not give us a crafting recipe for spears, so it does give us a really good one for great swords. So to get a great sword, we are going to you see this stone column on the right side. You are going to walk towards that, and in front of it there is some barrels. You'll notice there is a rusty maul, but over here just a bit is the rusty greatsword. So you're just going to push I and open your inventory, right click it, and that will swap out your greatsword for a rusty, the spear will be swapped out for the greatsword. Anyway, let's get started with questing now. So when you start a new character in both starting zones, you get a choice of going two different directions. For this starter zone, you'll be greeted by Gatewatcher Stonebeard. You'll see a red diamond above their head, meaning they have a quest for us, or we can interact with them in some way. And you also have Gatewatcher Nahotu. Now, we want to talk to Gatewatcher Stonebeard, and we want to say Might and Industry. This will send us to the Hammer Rest starter zone, rather than Bonfire, alright? And then we're going to skip the dialogue there. So, just to kind of show you how the world works, this is our starting zone. This is like a Dwarven Mountainous zone. We're going to be going east to Hammer Rest, which is a kind of like a nice little starter town, and then we're going to go work our way down here, ultimately to some mines down here. That is our starter path 1 to 10. Whereas if we chose the other NPC, we would instead go out here to this outdoor river village called Bonfire, and they have a similar trade outpost and, you know, other stuff to do over here. But this area is way more inefficient. There is less things to gather, less mobs to grind. You do not want to go this route as you will waste time. And you could always go around and do the stuff over here later. There's nothing really stopping you from going over here and exploring it. But for starting out, this is just way more efficient, way more streamlined, and faster. So that sets us on the path to the east. So we're going to curve around to the left here. And we have a quest to kill 5 empty Clayborn, which are these enemies that are just up ahead. They are pretty stiff-looking statues. I'm pretty sure they're not a placeholder graphic. They are meant to be a stone statue, and when you kill them, they stiffen up like a board and fall over, just like they did in World of Warcraft. So no, it's not an animation glitch or anything, but we are going to kill 5 of these, but we are also going to do something called Destiny Quests. So if you push the L button, you will notice that we have a First Steps and a Novice Combat Destiny. And these have different little quests like Eat Rations. Novice Combat has things like perform weapon combos and stuff. I'm going to put on the screen right now everything that we need to do right here in this little area. So here is everything that we need to do. We need to attack 10 times with both melee and ranged, sprint once, dodge 3 times while in combat, push the block button 3 times while in combat. We don't have to block an attack, we just have to push the button 3 times, and then eat a food item. So we're going to start out with shooting this guy 10 times with a ranged weapon. So there we go, and you'll notice as I'm shooting, this thing is slowly filling up here. Perform weapon combo attacks with the ranged weapon during combat. So, and these guys won't kill us, they're level 1 enemies, they're supposed to be easy. Super, super simple. So, you'll notice here on the screen, it says Destiny Objective Complete, and I'm sorry I had the text up, but yeah, this is what I was talking about. And now we're going to swap to a melee weapon. Also, at level 1, when you kill these Clayborns, they will always drop this thing called Red Clay Chunks. This is a food item. I don't know how you're supposed to eat clay. Now, I didn't get a drop here because the NPC finished off the enemy for me. So you got to make sure you deal at least 50% of the enemy's HP. And so we're going to go ahead and just do some melee attacks here. And here comes the NPC again. And the NPC is just going crazy, killing everything. I don't know why the guards are like this far deep out. Like, go away, NPC. I'm trying to do my Destiny quest here. 7 out of 10 on melee, so let's go ahead and get those last 3 hits. That's 8, and then 9, and that last hit's a combo, so that's why it didn't count. But there we go, we did it. Here's what else we need to do. We need to sprint once. You can do this in combat, out of combat. I'm just going to push my sprint button. There we go. Next up is we need to dodge 3 times and press block 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and eat the food item now since I'm out of combat. There we go, Destiny objective completed. And so we're going to get back in combat. We're going to dodge roll. There we go. I'm going to push the block button 3 times. And the NPC ruined it once again. Okay, we're going to push dodge once again there. We need 1 more dodge, and that should complete everything that we need to do. And we only need to kill 2 more of these for the quest. 1 more of these for the quest. This pesky NPC, they're normally not this far in, but get 1 more dodge roll in, and that completes that. So we just did everything on the list here. We're going to finish up the quest. Or I guess the NPC will finish it up for me. Maybe. We'll see. And don't worry, again, these things are not dangerous. They're not going to kill you. And we're level 2. So by the time you kill 5 of them, you should be level 2. If not, just keep killing them until you're level 2. We will claim these rewards in just a little bit. But instead, for now, you're going to proceed down the narrow hallway to the next NPC to get the quest turn in and follow up. By the way, I know you have an intrusive thought to jump off the ledge, but don't worry, there's an invisible wall. You can't jump off the ledge. The path is very protective of new players. This is the only place in the game where I believe invisible walls exist. I have not witnessed this anywhere else in the game world. It is only in this specific starting zone. Anyway, once you reach the NPC, we're going to talk to them, turn in the quest, get the follow-up, and the reward is this amulet. So we're going to right-click and equip the amulet. There it is. It's on our character pane. And that also completed a Destiny objective. Now, the reason I had you do these destinies right away is a few reasons. It helps you level up faster and gets you some rewards. We're going to click First Steps, and we have loot 5 items. There we go. We'll claim that for 500 XP and a dim glint. This is something that we sell for money in the early parts of the game. Later, it can be used for, you know, buying things from some NPCs, but for right now, it's just money. We're going to claim this for eating rations at 200 XP, and then we're going to click Claim up here to get more dim glint. Next up, we're going to Novice Combat. We're going to then claim all of these by clicking each one. They don't give a lot of XP, but it's still better than nothing. There we go. And then we're going to be able to claim both the health kit here and the lost weapon chest. And because we have a lost weapon chest, we're going to open this, and we're going to get a massive weapon upgrade. We have the longbow or the greatsword. So if we upgrade the greatsword, it's about 40 attack power. If we upgrade the longbow, it's a little bit more attack power. So it doesn't matter which one you choose. We're going to be upgrading these anyway. For me personally, I'm just going to choose the Lost Longbow and go ahead and slap that on because we are the Ranger. We are the range class. I'm going to then throw out the Splintered Longbow because you can't sell it. I'm going to throw out this Rusty Spear. And we have an Adventurer's Health Kit. This can give you a healing potion, a mana potion. These are potions, by the way. Rations or the Scroll of Constitution. I'm just going to go with the Health Salve, put that on my hotbar. We shouldn't need this. You can use potions while you're in combat. With that said, we are then going to proceed to the next quest NPC and, you know, turn it in and get the follow-up. Now, on the way there, you may be tempted to fight Claiborne. You don't need to. These things are low level. They have crappy loot tables, so you don't need to fight them. And if you aggro one, just run to the NPC. They'll have guards. The guards will kill them. So we're going to run up to Commander Ironhand, the NPC. We're going to turn in the quest, get the follow-up. I'm just mashing F to skip the dialogue because I don't really care about the lore. We're going to turn around and go and backtrack to this NPC to talk to them. They're going to talk about dying and stuff, and I will talk about dying as well. We're going to go up to this shrine-looking thing and push F to attune ourselves to it, and then we will go back to the NPC Commander Ironhand and turn in that quest as well. Very, very simple stuff. There we go. Now, the next thing it wants us to do, and I know we have skill points, we're leveling up, is it wants us to kill a Stonewoke Automata, alright? So these things are also at level 2. They're very easy to kill. Just run up and kill it. You can shoot it, you can attack it, you can use your abilities. Just kill these until they drop an item. And sometimes, and again, the NPCs just love interfering, but if you just run up and chop them up, you'll deal at least enough of their HP, so when the NPC does attack it, you get the quest, you get the loot. So there we go, it dropped the quest item, and we can now proceed to the next NPC, which just popped up on the map. There we go. Now, on the way, though, you will encounter another NPC. Right here, Archaeologist Hatcher. You're going to talk to this one. He wants us to dust off the plaque here, so walk up to the plaque, push F to clean it, and yes, it has a progress bar, and it does take time, but once it's completed, you need to turn the quest into Archaeologist Hatcher. If you don't get the reward. Alright, so even though we did it, it made a fun noise, talk to the NPC, hit complete, and that will complete the quest. Now, we can then proceed to the next NPC that's just up ahead. And yes, I know we have a mount. I'm going to explain all of this in just a bit. But, yes, we are here at the NPC. We're going to talk to them, get the follow-up, and now we are level 3, so now we can actually, you know, lay out some ground rules, how the game works, and so on and so forth. So first and foremost, I am going to explain how dying works in Ashes of Creation. When you die, you will drop items in your materials bag. So if you go into your inventory, you have a materials tab. These are things that you gather. These are things that you pick up off of mobs that aren't equipment. This is everything but equipment, essentially, right? So like body parts of animals and whatnot. So when you die from PvE or PvP, it does not matter what kills you. Even if you fall to your death, does not matter. 25% of everything in your materials bags will trash. This is the trash rate. That means if you have 10 of these dull glint, you will lose 25%, which would be, what, 2.5? Now, you will lose another 25% of all your stuff, but it will be on your corpse. Your corpse will become a pile of ashes, which other players can loot. You can also run back to your corpse and loot it as well, and get 25% of those materials back. So, this means that if a player kills you, they're going to take 25% of your materials. But besides dying and losing stuff, you also go into what's called experience debt. So down here is your experience bar. I'm level 3 at 357 out of 7,500, 4.8% of the way to the next level. When you die, you will incur an experience debt, and the higher level you are, the more it is. But at a low level, if I were to die right now from a player, which I'm going to explain how a player can kill us this early, we will go into experience debt, and we will need to kill about 2 mobs worth of XP to make it back. So right now, when I kill a mob, I'm getting about 174 experience. So I would need to kill about 2 of those, and I will be debt-free. Now, you don't lose experience when you die. You just get this red mark on your experience bar, which is like a layer of experience that you have to feed to make it go away. And that's how death essentially works. Now, the reason why I explained death is because the quest we're about to do unflags us for PvP safety. If you look up here, there's a little dove icon here. This is called PvP opt-in protection. We will lose this forever at level 10. We also lose this if we go into the open seas, if we go into PvP zones, if we flag up and attack someone that can be PvP'd, or if we pick up a trade pack, which is the next quest. Alright, but before I explain the next quest, I'm going to explain the world. So unlike World of Warcraft or other MMORPGs where it is a theme park, Ashes of Creation is a sandbox. So we started here in these snowy mountains, and with our mount, which I have not talked about yet, if we ride all the way down here to the other starting zone, that would take 1 real-life hour of time traveling, okay? If we traveled in the fastest possible route, it is a 1-hour-long trip. This is a big, massive world. Now, unlike World of Warcraft that has, like, Ironforge and Stormwind and Orgrimmar, Ashes of Creation has these little starter towns that have novice crafting benches, which is like a tier 1 crafting bench. That's it. That's all it has. Only the most basic gear. Novice is considered levels 1 to 10, alright? You also have other little starter towns here with, again, novice crafting benches. You can't really make really good stuff in these towns. But what you can do is you can go to a settlement, which is a player-ran and operated city built by the players for the players. So over here we have a settlement called Vlaugadim, and you can see here this town is actually quite built up. Alright, you can see there's walls and a bunch of different housing and a bunch of things being constructed here. There's a lot going on in this town. Now, I'm actually playing on an older server for this guide video. My other guide videos I was playing on a fresh server, but I ran out of character slots. So I had to pick an older server. This town is way more built up, alright? Every town is going to be different on every server, and these will have the higher tier crafting benches. Like if I click on the town here and go to buildings, you can see They have a barracks, factory, academy, marketplace. You can see they have a whole lot of stuff here. A smithy, an artisan smithy, so it's not a novice, right? And you can see they got like tier 2, maintenance, whatever. They got buildings, okay? So every town's going to be different on every server, and that's where you would do your crafting, your adventuring, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? But let's also explain just a few other things too. Your mount, the way mounts work and how they operate. So we got a mount as a quest reward. We're going to put that on our hotbar, and you want to make sure it's hotkeyed. You don't want to click on it. You don't want to open your inventory to summon it. You want to be able to push a key to get on it fast, all right? Because this is how you escape death when you overpull or you fight something that you can't beat, all right? So you would push the button to summon your mount. When your mount is in front of you, you push the G button by default, 2 mounts on top of it. Then you have an ability called Dash, which will make you run faster so you can run away from mobs. This is very important to learn how to do this quickly so that when you are getting attacked by a player or monsters, you can mount up and run the hell away so that you don't die and lose your stuff and go into experience debt. Besides that, mounts also persist in the world. You can see this mount has, well, you can't see it because of the text, but this mount has 700 HP, and it's level 1. Other players can attack and kill your mount. Monsters will aggro and attack and kill your mount. If your mount dies, it will go on a 10-minute long cooldown, which means you can't use it for 10 minutes. Now, if you were to take your mount and theoretically jump off of a very tall cliff, and you're riding on the mount will die from fall damage, and you will live. So that is a way to do a shortcut. But currently in the alpha, someone brought it to my attention that if you unsummon your mount like this, if you use your mount ability, like instead of just jumping off, you can actually unsummon it where it rides into the void and disappears, right? So if you unsummon it right before you hit the ground, you will dismount off of it safely. The mount will take no fall damage, and you will have been able to jump off a mountain and save a lot of travel time. So very, very cool little perk, but that will probably be fixed on release. Anyway, that's how mounts work. You can have multiple mounts, so if one dies, you can summon another. But they're pretty expensive early on. We're not going to be doing that in this video. So let's continue now with questing. All right, so we are going to pick up this trade pack. Now, when you have a trade pack, it's on your backpack. You move very, very slowly. You can see here that it's minus 50% movement speed, right? Man, I wish I could have gold-etched gears, you know, but whatever. Anyway... So the only real way to move faster without a Beast of Burden mount, which we're not going to get in this video, is to do dodge rolls. Or you can sprint, but dodge roll is generally pretty fast. If you were to summon your mount and try to have a regular mount carry you, it will be the exact same move speed as walking. So it's pretty useless. Now again, when I picked up this trade pack, you'll notice my PvP protection went away. So it's very important for you to turn this in. Griefers can come here at the starter zone and kill you and take some of your early stuff, though it's not really worth it. But it is something that they can do. Now that I've turned in the trade pack, I don't have my PvP protection back yet, but it will come back in 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know exactly what the timer is. So our next quest is actually a little bit of a toughie. This one wants us to collect heart stones, not hearth stones, from Claiborne Guardians. Now in this room, it is bugged. On the left, there are Claiborne Guardians. These do not drop the quest item. On the right are Claiborne Guardians, and these guys do drop the quest item. I don't know when this will be fixed, and it used to not always be this way, so it's a rather recent bug. But anyway, just kill Claiborne Guardians on the right side. I also want to talk about mob types. Guardians, or Sentinels, are tanky types. You can see they have a shield, they have way more HP. These guys are pretty beefy, whereas the Laborers in the middle, they have a two-handed weapon, they have far less HP, and yes, people will come here to AoE farm. It is absolutely vital that people come here to AoE farm, but what you're going to do is you're going to kill these until you get 3 heart stones. And yeah, they take a little bit of time to kill, and you could use your abilities if you want. Just mash your abilities. We're going to be putting in some points here so that we can start killing these faster. But before we do that, we have some quest reward items that will make this a little bit easier to do. So, as a ranger, you want to have medium armor. So when we select these chest rewards, it gives us a light armor. You can see it right here in the box, common light armor. This is cloth armor, also known as cloth. You have medium armor, also known as leather, and heavy armor, also known as plate. So, you'll notice that the medium armor for bindings gives us physical attack power, The light armor gives us magic accuracy. We're not a mage. We're not going to be using magic. There are some magic abilities, but we're not going to be building around that. And then the plate gives us crit chance. And crit chance sounds nice, but it is not 25% crit chance. It is plus 25 of a flat crit chance, which is less than a percent of a percentage, whatever. So for the starter zone, later you can go full plate, you can go full cloth, it's whatever you want to do. But for the starter zone, levels 1 to 10, I advise you to go medium armor as a ranger. That is right here. This is a mix of physical and magical defense. The defense does not matter. What matters is the stats, which is dexterity, physical attack power. That's all we care about, right? So we're going to put that on. And we're not going to be cleaving mass mobs in front of us. We're a ranged attacking class. We're going to sit in the range. And we're going to shoot everything down. And if they get close, we'll do backflips and cool ninja moves and get the hell away from them, right? Acrobatic moves, that's what I meant. Not ninja moves. That's a rogue. But, yeah, choose the medium armor function. We have dexterity and physical power on the gloves. And for the armor, we have disabled defense. This means it's harder to be crowd controlled. But it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and put those on now. And the adventurer garb we can go ahead and toss. But now let's talk about skill abilities. So for your starting points, you're going to want to pick Scatter Shot. And then you want to pick Scatter Shot has an additional charge. And you're going to learn both of those abilities. I'm just going to move my hotkeys around. Let's see, just a bit here, kind of like this. Yeah, this is what I like to do. So your skill rotation is as follows. You're going to select the enemy. You're going to push your salvo button. There we go. So now we did a salvo. You're then going to hit them with 2 scatter shots. And then you're going to face tank while you melee them, which will lower the cooldown of your scatter shot. And then when you have 2 charges of scatter shot, you will scatter shot 2 more times. And when you have full charges of your salvo, you will then salvo. So it's a little slow to start, but that's the combo. And this deals more damage than anything else you're going to do right now, and doesn't require any kind of weird respecs. Because another thing too is scatter shot is instant cast. And salvo is just higher DPS than your auto attack. That's all that is. Now, there's a few other things to note also as a ranger. You have this ability called Hunt of the Raven. And this gives you more accuracy, which is really not that important at a low level. But it also means whenever you mark the enemy, they will have their evasion reduced, which the enemies aren't very evasive right now anyway. That's a problem for higher level mobs. And then you can increase your own evasion by 15% whenever the mark expires. So you would cast this, and this is just always on you. You don't have to cast it again. So I like to actually move it somewhere where I'm not going to like need to use it here on my heart bar. Okay, but what this does too is you can now mark your prey, and by marking the prey, you will then get that buff for that evasion. So we can go ahead and mark, and then we can go ahead and salvo. There we go. And then when they are close, we can hit them with the double scatter shot, and then we can melee them. And we have you can see here now we have evasion increased by 15% buff. That's all that does. It doesn't help us kill faster, so if you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to do it, it's up to you. But there we go. Essentially just blow your 2 cooldowns right now, and there's not much more to it than that. So yeah, it's a little bit slow, but as we level up, it's going to get a lot faster, trust me. Alright, so we've got the quest completed. But we do not want to leave this place until we are level 4.5. So we are going to grind the mobs here until we are level 4.5. It does take time, but we're going to go ahead and knock it out. And the reason why is that it will unlock more of these destinies, which will align with the main story quest we're doing and allow us to progress those without getting behind. One other ability you'll also have is camouflage. This is kind of like a rogue stealth. You just kind of go invisible. If you do an action or whatever, you'll be seen. It's not nearly as good as a rogue stealth, but it's decent. It allows you to kind of move around the game world without being seen too much. Though a high level player like that would be able to see us pretty easily, but mobs will have a little bit of trouble. Now, another tip that I want to give you too is that if you are wounded or you're low on mana from grinding, you can push X to sit down, and by doing so, you give yourself a resting buff, which will regenerate your HP and mana much faster than just standing around. I always see new players in here when they're grinding, they'll just stand around and wait. You should be sitting and waiting, and that will restore it way faster. Now, instead of fighting the Guardians, you can absolutely instead fight the Clayborn Laborers. You'll notice that they have way less, they're a lot easier to kill. And, yeah, they take pretty good damage. So you could actually fight multiples of these. And that might be faster than killing Guardians. You'll have to kind of do a little bit of, you know, trial and error. But let's try pulling 2 here. Because this guy, he's pulling that one over there. So we can go ahead and, you know, hit both of these in the face. Hit them with the salvo. And yeah, we're just going to face tank these guys. They're not too dangerous. There we go. We got another salvo there. Or we got another, I'm sorry, scatter shot. And you can see we're killing 2 at a time at a pretty decent rate, but I am taking some damage. So I am going to then sit down as soon as I am out of combat, restore some HP. And these guys all respawn in like 20 seconds. So I know I can pull 2 mobs. So now I can possibly attempt 3 mobs. And, you know, I might be able to do even more with the Mark Prey. So I can also do range pulls. You can switch your bow and make sure you tag all the enemies here, right? Just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and mark this guy. They're going to jump me just like that. Now I'm fighting 3 at a time. And the sword does a cleave frontal attack. And remember, your sword attacks are what reset the cooldown of scatter shot. So when you have multiple pulls like this, you're not going to use salvo. You're instead just going to use auto attack and scatter shot. And that's going to be the higher DPS with the more targets you have. Now, obviously, when there's 1 enemy left, you would pop your salvo and then kill them that way. Oh, and these guys drop gear upgrades. I just got an earring that gives me power and crit chance. So I'm going to obviously put that on. But yeah, pulling 3 at a time, a little bit dangerous right now. But again, I am leveling up pretty quick. As you kill these mobs, as you loot things, you will be completing more destinies. So here at First Steps, you know, we have complete 5 quests. Claim that, claim this for another health kit. Summon a mount, we did that. Kill 10 enemies, we did that. Again, that leveled us up a bunch too. So, as we continue to level up, we're going to also learn weapon skills and stamina skills. I want to talk about stamina skills. Stamina skills, I usually just go with sprint. These really don't matter until very high levels, and you could respec out of them anytime. If you don't like your sprint, you could right-click to unspec, go to reflexes for dodge, and then put it in there. It's whatever you like to do. Ultimately, this won't matter much. It won't affect your kill speed, so don't worry about it. Now, for weapons, this is going to massively increase your kill speed here. As you kill mobs, you level up your weapon ability. For the Great Sword, we are going to click this middle plus sign, and we're going to click Bleed, alright? Bleed is going to massively speed up our ability to kill the enemy. Now, besides that, we're also going to go down this route, which is Deadly Finisher Chance, which increases our chance to cause bleed with our finisher by 10%. So now, when we do our finisher, we have a 35% chance to bleed the enemy. For the bow, and the bow, whenever you use an ability, it's not factoring anything on this page in here, okay? So just keep that in mind. This is for just auto attacks. So we're going to pick Wound for our auto attack and Deadly Finisher Trigger Chance. We mostly use the ranged weapon to pull a bunch of enemies at once. Now, you could try pulling a bunch of Guardians at once, but these things are way beefier and they also hit harder. So it's up to you. I think I'll try it just to see. So there's 1. Let's pull 2, and then let's pull the 3rd one. We can see if we can fight 3 of these. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this guy and start meleeing him. When this one's in range, I'm gonna hit him with the scatter shots. And you can see, like, let's see if we can get a bleed going, so you can see what it looks like. There we go. They're all 3 bleeding, so you can see they're all taking yellow tick damage over time. And we're going to get that second scatter shot charge. There we go. Pop them both. And yeah, I can definitely take 3 Guardians at a time, though it is chipping my HP away. But hey, it's not too bad, right? There we go. Shoot that one. We got a small cooldown left. This one will die. Hit the scatter. Hit the salvo. And yeah, we could absolutely pull 3 of these at a time. And as we upgrade our gear and get more abilities and more skills, we're going to be able to kill these even faster. This is why leveling up is also very important. I know what I said is common knowledge. Oh, leveling up lets you kill faster? No shit. Now, I want to talk about also your combo finishers, right? So the way it works is you will do a slash, slash, and then a slash, slash. And if you cast a spell or an ability while you're doing that, it resets the combo. And if you never do your finisher, you don't get the cooldown reduction on your scatter shot. And yes, I did die. My internet crapped out when I pulled 4 mobs. Came back and I was dead. Whoops. Well, that just happens, okay? There's nothing you can really do about it. But you will continue to get weapon level up, so continue down the path of Deadly Finisher or both of your weapons. That way you can apply those bleeds just a little bit faster. Also, be aware when you're level 3 and you're pulling the level 4 Claiborne Guardians, they're a lot tougher. They hit a lot harder, so I wouldn't really try to pull too many here. And, like, this could be a dangerous pull, right? So, there we go. We're going to shoot our scatter shots, and then we are going to make sure we do the full combo before we do any more scatter shots. So, there we go. That's the second slash, third, fourth, and boom, shoot. Because if we shoot before then, we don't get that cooldown reduction. And we're just going to rinse and repeat. And you can see these level 4s are actually kicking my butt. They're pretty tough. But don't worry, as we level, we're going to get some more abilities that actually make us a little bit tankier, that actually let us deal damage when we receive damage. There's a lot of cool stuff we get as a ranger. So, yeah, just keep at it. And now that we have this one isolated, we can, you know, spam our salvo. That way we get a DPS increase. And the fight's pretty much over. Go ahead and just finish it with a scatter shot there, even though it did interrupt my combo. And we are now level 4. Awesome. So you may be thinking, oh, right, level 4, our kill speed's going to get massively faster. Yes and no. All right, this time we get Barrage at level... for some reason, you get Barrage at level 4. I don't know why, but you're going to take Barrage. And Barrage is awesome, because if you hit a bleeding target, it reduces the cooldown of Barrage. And Barrage is pretty similar to Salvo. It's just faster, all right? And so, the combo is for single targets. You can go ahead and Salvo into Barrage, into Scatter Shot, and later our Scatter Shot will be causing bleed, so we're going to be able to very easily bleed. But other than that, as you melee a target, you're just going to Barrage and Salvo, and you're just going to piano your abilities pretty much. Now, at this point, you could keep doing AoE farms, but I like to just do single target because we have Barrage, which deals a crap ton of damage. Salvo also starts hitting a little bit harder because we're a higher level. And you can just kind of chain pull the enemies here. Now, I'm still using Scatter Shot because it's an instant cast, you know, burst attack. But the bleed from our sword combines very well with Barrage if you can get the bleed going. But it looks like I didn't bleed this guy. But anyway, yeah, just keep pushing your abilities as they go off cooldown. And I'm going to hit the guy behind him here and get that one started with the pull. And again, you'll get to level 4.5 in no time. Now, one thing you got to be careful about as a ranger, which is very unfortunate, is that we're very mana hungry. Okay, this is a very mana hungry class, especially when fighting tanky enemies. And the reason why the ranger is more mana hungry than the other classes is because it's a kite class, especially in the open world. So if you run around and kite really big, hard to kill enemies all by yourself, and you never ran out of mana, well then you would essentially be unstoppable, unkillable, and solo everything that doesn't have a ranged attack. So you know, just keep an eye on your mana bar, and then just have a little quick sit, regenerate that mana. All right, once you are level 4 and 50% of the way, I'm at 51.5%. Then make sure you get all of your health back, because the next few rooms can be a little bit dicey, and that is because mobs will aggro the hell out of you, and if the elevators are bugged, you'll be dead. So we're going to run through here. Try not to aggro the mobs. This room is normally very annoying to fight mobs in, but it looks like there's a player farming them, so we're safe. But normally, they're very close to these doors, and they will aggro you. Now, the way this elevator works is you have to wait until the elevator reaches the bottom, and the gates will open. If you don't want to wait, you can talk to this NPC, say, the elevators aren't working, and he'll teleport you to the top floor, where there is a quest NPC. We are going to go ahead and get the quest. Now, find the characters on the ground with the diamond, and then use the apply healing salve. Now, you're not using your own health salves. You're using your quest item healing salve, so don't be afraid. It's not taking away your precious healing items, okay? But go ahead and do that 3 times, and then you're going to run along the path, and there is another elevator with another similar NPC. But that NPC will not teleport you in front of the gate. He'll teleport you sometimes behind the gate. So there's no enemies up here, but it is sometimes better to just wait on the elevator. And I don't know why, but this particular area, the mounts are bugged. And just keep trying until it lets you summon it. I don't know why. They'll fix it one day, I suppose. Alright, we made it to Hammer's Rest. We're going to then go to the main NPC here in the middle. And this may look like a confusing area, but it's really just stairways and rooms. That's all it is. It's just a big room with some stairs, okay? I'm going to talk to Commander Dunes and Chasm. Get the quest to go to another NPC, which is right up here. Again, you can follow the quest marker. I know the map is black and blank and undetailed. They'll flesh it out eventually. We have Provisioner Hammer Song here. And, yeah, there we go. We are now level 5. Yay, we did it. And then some. So now the game wants us to do some crafting and some gathering. Oh, boy. But before we do that, there is a few things that we need to do ourselves so that we can maximize our Destiny quests and safeguard the items that we have so preciously farmed while we were grinding, which, unfortunately for me, is not much. Over here, there is a mailbox icon. Go to the mailbox icon. Next to the mailbox clerk is the storage, next to the mailbox is the storage clerk. It is very important that you do this step. Talking to the storage clerk completes a destiny, but we're going to click, I want to access my storage. Now, click materials, and you'll notice you don't have a lot of storage space. What you need to do, and it's important that you do so, otherwise you'll use this crappy storage space, click the plus symbol, and then click general storage. I don't know why this isn't default, but now we have way more storage that we can use. And then what you're going to do is you're going to right-click everything, which it bugged out, so I need to close and reopen the storage here. But you're going to right-click everything that is not a glint. So this emblem, this anvil's essence, only in your materials bag. Don't worry about this bag, okay? Don't worry about that bag. Just your materials bag, okay? Put everything in storage. Now, behind you is a Stoneworks vendor. Open the vendor. This is how you repair gear. You can click this repair all button. I did die, so I have some repairs, unfortunately. My internet cut out. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that for 53 copper, which I don't have. Uh-oh, how do I get copper? Glint is how you get copper. So you're going to take your glint, and you're going to right-click and sell it for silver. And there you go, copper and silver. 100 copper is 1 silver, 100 silver is 1 gold. Same standard rate in World of Warcraft. All right, there we go. So we did it. Now I can go ahead and repair this. There we go. But if the repair all button is broken, click the regular repair button, open your character panel, click artisan ship to repair gathering tools, click your gear to repair your gear. That's just how you do it, okay? Now, selling glint also completed a destiny, but before we do that, go to your items tab, and you see these gathering items we just got? They're slightly better than what we have equipped. You start with gathering gear, by the way. This is only a 2-speed increase, whoop-de-doo, but if you look at the durability, it is a massive jump in durability. The green gathering items allow us to gather for about 1 hour before they break. And if gear breaks, you just repair it. You don't have to craft a new one. It's not like gone forever. All right. So just go ahead and right-click all of these green gathering gears and put them on. Now, keep your old gathering gear, and here's why. Let's say you go fishing, and fishing is an AFK activity. Your character will fish automatically and stand near the water, and you don't have to do anything. If your fishing pole breaks, you have to go back to town to repair it to continue fishing. Or you can just swap in your old fishing pole, which is only 2-speed slower, which is not much in this game, and continue fishing. That's why we're going to hold on to these. You're not going to fill up your inventory regular bag space anytime soon, so don't worry about this. Also, we have some more rewards. We have a recipe of the waste. You're not going to craft these, but if you want to stay in line with having all medium armor, I believe it is the Lost Scout Sash. Just pick one and learn it. It's not a big deal. We have the shoulder box. We're going to pick the medium armor shoulder. There we go. And the leggings box. We're going to pick the medium armor leggings. There we go. And we're going to throw out these old adventurer pants because we can't sell them anyway. We have some recipes from the mobs we ground. And an adventurer's health kit. I'm going to go with the health potion. And then we're going to tidy up the inventory a little bit here. It might look like this. It might not. I've already learned this recipe, but I'm going to hold on to it. Because the characters, the players in the south, will not be able to get this recipe, because this is from the north, and they might buy it at a high price. I don't know, all right? Also, Locke just said, big fan. Hey, Locke, you made it in the video. Cheers. Oops, I have caps lock on. Cheers, legend. There you go. You made it in the video. He said, keep killing it with the vids. Absolutely. But, so there we go. We have our gear in check, and we've got some silver, so let's claim some destiny rewards. The first steps is now 8 out of 8, so we can claim all of these, talk to the storage clerk, get level 5, and sell glint. So we have completed all of these. We're going to claim the final reward here, which is really nice. We also, our combat is almost done. We just need one more level, and this one will be done. So at level 5, we also unlock the adventuring, crafting, gathering, and processing destinies. But we have these chests. We have Wanderer's Chest. Let's grab the medium armor, and this one is a big upgrade, right? Huge, huge, huge. And then we have a melee weapon chest, and this is a big upgrade. We're going to choose the great sword, and check this out. We go from 113 power to 397. Yeah, we're going to be hitting enemies really hard with this. If you can also, the gear we just replaced, the shirt and the weapon, you can try to sell these. There's the shirt. We can't sell the weapon, so we're just going to trash it. There we go. And we trashed the old weapon because we're not going to break it down. That's... Tier 1 equipment is not worth breaking down. It's literally garbage material. But also, it's so you don't accidentally re-equip it. And yeah, we're looking pretty cool right now. We've got the medium armor on. We're a hot female elf. We got a big old sword. We got our, you know, ram mount. We're pretty ballin' here right now, okay? But we're also level 5 and we have a new skill point to allocate. Now, we are almost capable of AoE farming. We just need to be level 6 so we can learn barbs, right? That's all we need. And then we can kick a whole lot of ass. But one AoE ability people don't realize is that Disengage is an area of effect frontal ability, which will hit multiple enemies. So that's what we're going to learn. And this is a spell that you can cast even when you're not in combat, and it'll just do a little cool little flip. I don't know why there was a rainbow. I have never seen it make a rainbow before. That's weird. But I also forgot to teach you guys an advanced mount skill. Whenever you dismount off a mount, you get a little jump. So you can use this to like climb things you're not normally meant to climb, which you can get a height advantage if you need it in PvP. But another thing too is that you could use the mount's jump in conjunction with your disengage to jump even higher for another jump. So there you go, advanced movement tech. By allocating those skills, we now have 8 out of 8 in Novice Combat, which we will then claim that reward, and claim this reward, which is the Wanderer's Ranged Weapon. So of course we're going to pick the longbow, and look at this upgrade. We go from 171 to 447. Now I want to talk about weapons and how they work. When you are not actively using a weapon, it is a stat stick. So that means even though I am using like bow abilities, the attack power is both, it's combining both of your weapons. Alright? So you always want to be upgrading both weapons. Don't think, oh, I'm a ranger, I just need a bow, I don't need a sword, I don't have sword abilities. Having a strong sword makes your skills, your abilities hit way harder. It makes your auto attacks for both weapons hit way harder. The only thing that is not factored in on your gear is block chance with a shield when you have a shield as an offhand. That is the only thing that will not be counted. Alright, so keep that in mind. As always, keep a clean inventory. We're going to sell that longbow. We've earned some glint from the destinies. We're going to sell that. Again, keeping a clean, empty inventory. Now, next up, from the storage clerk, if you turn to your right, over here is equipment vendor Liza. And yes, we can do sweet backflips to get to places now. So get used to it. And what we're going to buy from Liza, there's a few things. Buy like, you know, a handful of rations. We'll buy like 5 rations. But you're going to buy 2 mining satchels. Yes, we have to do a lot of mining in this game. I know. And let me show you how bags work. So one way to equip a bag is in your material slot. You can click the plus, and you can choose which bag you want to put on. All right. The other way is you just right-click the bag from your items inventory, and that'll put it on to the nearest empty one. But this is generally how you would equip and unequip bags. Now let me explain how a mining satchel works. So when you go mining, stone like granite and basalt take up a 2x2 square in your inventory, and they can stack to 20. Well, with a mining satchel, mining materials can stack plus 23, which means you can now, in this 2x2, stack up to 43 of the same material, which more than doubles your carry capacity. And we need to do a lot of mining to craft the weapons we need to be absolutely overpowered by the time we hit level 10. Alright, so with that said now, we have a little bit more things to do. The game wants us to currently go out and gather, and we're going to do that. We're going to gather, we're going to craft some bags, and we're going to grind and mine and fight mobs and do all of that stuff all at the same time. Now, in the northeastern part of Hammer Rest is the exit. You'll see the sunlight if it's daytime. You can tell if it's daytime by the minimap icon here. It is currently 7 a.m. in-game time. It's 2 in the morning at my real-life time. Yes, I know, I'm a degenerate. But anyway, at the entrance here, at the doorway, there is a commission board. Go to the commission board, and you have some quests. Just pick up all the quests. These are things like kill mountain lions, slay other things, and keep a note of when it refreshes. So this refreshes in 5 minutes, which I'm not going to do it in 5 minutes. I could, but I'm not going to for the sake of the video. And say we go out and we kill 4 mountain lions, we can collect the reward immediately, and then we can go back inside and go back to the commission board and get that quest again, and then kill 4 more mountain lions and get the reward again. And you're going to be stacking these rewards to level up, get materials, and get all sorts of other goodies and rewards. Alright, so now, this guy just dismounted in front of me. He must recognize me. I get recognized. He says, hey. I'm going to say, howdy. Howdy there, partner. Glad to see you on Ranger. You the goat. Hell yeah, Bale the Bard. You made it in the video. But now it's time to do some gathering. So we're going to be doing some gathering, and we are going to get a total of 23 plants and 56 wood. And yes, we have room for it. Don't worry about it. So let me explain how gathering works. I'm going to hide the text for a sec. So these little piles of yellow plants, flowers, this is daffodil. Walk up to it, you'll see a little white dot, and then make sure you stand completely still with the dot in front of your character, not behind, and push the F button, and you'll start to harvest it, right? And, you know, just get, mwah, there you go, butt kiss. But, so what happens when this completes is you will collect 3 daffodil, which goes into your material bag slot right here. So these are a 1x2 plant, right? And we need a total of 23, a mix of daffodil and snowdrop. Snowdrop is the white plant. So again, this one, if I can't get that little white dot up, that means I can't harvest it, right? So it gets a little awkward where you have to stand, but that is how we're going to do it. So all you're going to do is collect a total of 23 plants. It doesn't matter what they are. You can mix and match them. And as you do this, you will be completing Destiny rewards as well. Now, I know the game only wants us to get 5 for the quest, but we need more for weapons, and we want to make more than 1 bag. The quest is having us craft 1 bag. We want at least 2 bags. You're going to want it for later. There's a chance that you also get different rarities of items. In this case, I got a rare daffodil. We're still going to use it to quest. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about the rarity. The only problem with the rarity is that it will clog your inventory. So early on, it's kind of a burden, but hey, it's just something you got to deal with. So here we are. We have a total of 24 flowers, 18 plus 3 plus 3, and we only need 23. Next up is chopping Eastern Hemlock. And you don't have to chop Eastern Hemlock, it's just the more common tree. The Eastern Hemlock is this kind of dark brown tree trunk, and when you chop a tree, walk up to it, make sure it says Adult Eastern Hemlock. The reason why we don't want to chop other breeds of tree is because it will clog your inventory. And if you chop an adolescent tree, you will only get 3 wood instead of 5, and you have a lesser % chance to get rare drops, so you always pretty much want to chop just the adult trees, if you can help it. You can see here, it's a 1x3. This is a piece of wood. The one thing with wood, you can't put it in the mining satchel. Now, the flowers, you absolutely can put in your mining satchel. They will not stack up by extra 23 because they are not mining materials. But it is something you could put in them if you're having trouble with a bunch of different rarities of trees you chop. You may think gathering is boring and you hate this stuff and you don't want to chop trees, you just want to kill stuff. Here's the thing, right? As you chop trees, not only are you getting like lumberjack experience, you're also gaining regular experience. Every tree I'm chopping down is worth 150 regular experience points, so this is helping us level up. One thing I want to mention in guides is I would have players go down here to the Hammer Rest trade outpost before they start gathering to get more commission quests, because in that town you can get gathering commission quests, but it's been bugged every single time I have recommended people to do it. And I don't know when that'll be fixed, so I just stopped recommending it in my guides. I'm going to teach you about how to do that later in the video, though, so don't worry. Alright, and there we have it. We have the at least 56 wood. I have 60, but we just need 56 wood. Next up, we're going to then kill some mountain lions, and here's one right here. Now, you'll notice the mountain lion has a star next to its name. This means that it is an elite mob. However, it's a low-level mob, and so they're pretty easy to kill. So they do this pounce attack that will interrupt your spell casts, but you can see they die super fast, so it's not a big deal. And the quest wants us to kill 4 of these, but we are going to kill 5 instead, alright? Also, while we're killing mountain lions, you'll see mining nodes here. Granite looks like lumpy egg-shaped rocks, and you're just going to mine this, and if you can help it, move the flowers out of your mining satchel so that these get properly filled up. But yeah, you're going to ride around and you're going to mine stone. There's another one called basalt, and I'll show you what that looks like while you kill mountain lions. And here's where you're going to do it. So you're going to go northeast along the road, and then you're going to curve around northwest in this like crevice, this mountain pass. And you're going to go all the way up here and all the way up here and just kill a bunch of mountain lions and mine a bunch of stone. And you're gonna mine stone. Oh, I got heroic. Ugh, I'm gonna throw that out because I'm not gonna max that stack out. That is gonna be a waste of inventory space. Granted, it's easy enough to get. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, we're gonna ride around and we're gonna kill at least 5 mountain lions, preferably more. You're gonna have to kill a whole lot of these suckers, by the way. So, you know, if you hate grinding, I don't know if this game is for you. But you know, just take them out. and try to dodge their pounce, otherwise you get knocked on your back. And again, you can always you know, do some cool flips and shoot. There's a lot more skill combinations at your disposal now, but these mountain lions drop good gear, they drop anvil essence, and we need 20 anvil essence to craft our weapons. So it is quite a grind. And when we hit level 6, we're going to be able to kill a whole bunch of mountain lions all at the same time. It'll be very easy. But right now, we're just going to be doing a bunch of mining and mountain lion killing. So now we need to process the materials that we have gathered. So you can see here, I've got the wood, the flowers. Didn't do much grinding, but we got some granite, we got some basalt. And I didn't find a big node. I'll show you what that looks like later if I remember. But it looks like little pillars, little stone pillars. I don't know. But outside, the first thing we're going to process is the wood. We have the lumber milling station here. And purple is usually processing, you know, that's the color for processing. This could change. But this is the lumber milling station. And we need to turn our eastern hemlock into timber. To do so, we need sanding powder. Now, if you hover over the basic ingredients, it'll tell you where to get it. So purchase is from wood shop or marketplace. So right near the wood stations, we have a wood shop vendor. And you don't see the powder here, do you? Well, you have to click the materials tab at the top, and then there's a whole lot of stuff for sale, a big list. You could scroll through it and find it, which is it's right there. But the easier way is to type in the search box. Just type the first few letters of the word, like sanding, S-A. You can also do P-O for powder. It doesn't matter. You can type N-D-I-E for sanding powder. Again, just type letters that the word has. So I'm going to just type S-A. And then we have sanding powder, and we need 56 of these. So we're going to click the quantity button at the bottom, change the quantity to 56. That's going to cost, with tax, 6 silver, 72 copper. We're going to go ahead and purchase that, and there we go. Also, while we're here, we're going to sell any glint we may have gotten. And then we're going to go over here to, again, the table saw looking icon, the saw blade. We're going to click Eastern Hemlock. We're going to grab the quantity slider and slide it all the way to the right. And you'll notice that I don't have enough silver. It requires 19 silver, 60 copper. So that's where mob grinding comes in. Now, normally at this stage of the game, you would have enough. You would have just enough to do this. But I died because my internet died, so I don't have enough. So I'm going to have to store the wood and the sanding powder, and we will do it later when we have enough money, all right? Now, I did slay some mountain lions, so we're going to go ahead and claim this reward. That'll give me 8 glint there. It also gives me a chest, and this chest can sometimes give glint, sometimes not. You generally need an open inventory space in your bags to use this. You can see not enough space, wants a 2x2 slot. I don't have a 2x2 slot available, unfortunately, so we'll open that chest later. But since we're back in town, we're going to grab another Slay Mountain Lion quest because it just refreshed. And, yeah. So we have 12 silver right now. We also need to process these plants. So let's see if we can go afford that. We might not, and that's fine. Again, we have to do a lot of grinding anyway. So we're going to go up here to this area. You have a quest marker that shows where to go. But we have a weaving station and the milling, whatever it's called. This is a weaving station. Here we go. We want to make coarse thread, which requires drat wine wax. The game wants us to purchase 5 drat wine wax. Instead, we are going to purchase 23 from the textile mill vendor. And we're going to do that the same way, but we're just going to purchase 23. And I might not have inventory space, so I'm actually going to sell the glint there. And now I have 2 spots. Let's see. 23. Purchase for 2.76 silver, leaving us with 10 silver. Cool. We're going to go back to this station and then add the coarse thread, and we have enough this time. We're then going to click add on the plants, shift and right clicking the plants in. It's going to cost 8 silver, 5 copper, and it's going to take 11 minutes, 30 seconds. So while that's cooking, we can work on other things. All right, this leaves us with 2 silver. We also have 1 plant left over. You can sell this at the vendor. It's worth 5 copper. We won't need that anymore. But for everything else, because we don't have any money to process it, we need to just store it for now. So we're going to take all of our materials that we have, including the stone and so forth, all of this stuff, and just throw it into our storage. And then we're going to be grinding. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the storage, and I'll show you this now. Open the storage, click materials. It's already, set. And I'm just going to right-click everything into storage, and we will mill this later when we have the money. So right now we're going to go back to the mountain lion area. We're going to continue mining, by the way. We're going to continue mining because we have not mined nearly enough to craft what we need. And we have to turn the granite and the basalt into sand to get more metal, unless you get lucky. You're going to need a total of, it is, I think, 33 metal fragments, okay? Metal is derived from copper, zinc, and tendonite, which, if you get lucky on your drops, you might get this mining naturally. You might not. By turning the basalt and the granite into sand, you have a chance to get metal from that process. And so, remember when I told you at the start of the guide, no RNG, no luck required? Well, that's what I mean. Also, this is what basalt looks like. It looks like little stone, like, columns, I guess, little skinny columns. And there's bigger nodes than this, but yeah, just keep mining and keep killing mountain lions. We will hit level 6 before you know it, and that's going to speed up our killing speed by allowing our scatter shot to bleed. And when we pull a bunch of enemies, we can bleed them all at once, and it's going to be very glorious. Now, as you grind mountain lions, one thing you want to learn if you're doing ranged pulls is weaving an auto attack before your ability. So instead of just starting with a barrage or a salvo, do an auto attack into a barrage, and I actually messed it up there because I animation canceled my auto attack, unfortunately. So I'll try it again here in a sec. I should have a little bit of a cooldown left here, and I know I should have swapped to melee, but I don't care, I'm lazy. It's okay to play lazy. So I'm going to auto attack into salvo, there we go, and that's a little bit extra damage, not too much more, but it is something. Also my, I'm out of mana. I am out of mana. Look at me, I can't cast any abilities now. Whoop-de-doo, oh boy. And remember, these mountain lions, they can drop good gear. I got a green helmet here, which is medium armor, which actually works out for us. And by the way, mob dropped gear actually has a extra set bonus that we are not going to get from quest gear. You'll notice that this piece has what's called finesse. That would give us dexterity and wisdom increase. So if you get 5 pieces of mob drop gear, you can also get this set pieces bonus rather than just your medium set piece bonus of 6% more defense. And yeah, we're about to be level 6 now, aren't we? Oh yeah. When your weapon levels to 6, as you have continued to get Deadly Finisher, you can then swap over and start getting penetration down here, there we go, on both of your weapons. Alright, at level 6, you are going to choose Enhanced Armament Barbs. This means that your salvo, your scatter shot, and your regular combos start to bleed. Now, you no longer need your sword to cause bleed. You can use your bow to cause bleed and wound at the same time. Very, very cool. So the way barbs work is you don't need to, it's not like something you have to constantly cast. You cast it the one time, and then you just get a buff on your hotbar. And now when I scatter shot this guy, he's bleeding. And then when I do salvo, I can get my cooldowns back much faster. And yeah, so there you go. Now that we can bleed enemies in an area of effect, we can start to mass pull the mountain lions. And also, at level 6, you also got this ability called Thorns, which you just target yourself and then cast it. And now with Thorns, we reflect damage back to the attacker equal to 1/3 of our level. So we're level 6, so that would be 2 damage. It's not much, but when we have a whole bunch of mountain lions trying to chew us apart, the damage is going to add up. So yeah, there we go. Barbs is really, really good at stacking those bleeds. So this is about how the pull would look like. We're going to just shoot every mountain lion in range, pulling all of them. And you'll notice, again, we have red arrows now. And yes, I'm getting knocked down because I didn't jump or strafe correctly. And also dodge roll to try to, get away from them. There we go. Go ahead and hit these guys. And again, I got pounced on once again. And again, this is a terrible pull, but we're just going to, again. Now, I'm swapping to sword so I can cleave everything in front of me here. There we go. That's going to, again, bleed them once again. We're going to disengage. That's going to hit everything in front. And you can see we kill so many at once now. And yeah, there is lots of loot to scoop up from this. Now, again, we need to farm these guys. Not only do we need glint, but we also need these anvils essences. And that's what we're primarily going to do. So what I like to do is in between big pulls like that, if my character's like kind of wounded like she is now, I'm going to run back to this little area and do some mining, and then once I know that all the mining nodes are taken or cleaned out, I will then come back and AoE down more mountain lions, and I'm just going to rinse and repeat that. Now, there is a chance that other players are also here, or that the area just has too many players killing mountain lions. If that's the case, go back to the starter noob zone and kill those Clayborn guardians and laborers. You know that big room? that we had to grind to 4.5. You're going to go back there and farm there. You will get your Anvil's Essence, and you will actually level up faster than the Mountain Lions, but it is a pain in the ass to ride all the way back there, and then that area be crowded too. So you should only leave a grinding spot if it's overcrowded. Also, when you're doing the Claiborne, you can't do mining, so you would have to do mining separately, and that could take up more time. It really depends on your luck with metal. Oh, I canceled it. Don't right-click and move your character, by the way. But, yeah. You want to make sure that you are just being efficient with your mining and your mob grinding. Now, while you do all this, you're going to be completing your, like, adventure challenges of, like, kill 25 enemies, kill 5 elite enemies. You can claim some glint from doing those two. Crafting, we got a reward here. These are all XP gathering rewards. We got gather a rare material. What was that one? 50 wood, stone, whatever. 10 uncommon, and so on and so forth. So again, more glint rewards. You might also get this one. This is just a gatherer shirt. You can pick whatever you want, or you can hold on to it until you know what you want. But also by killing mobs, you get random gear drops, which will also sell for silver. So again, you just gotta kind of bounce between the mountain lions and the mining nodes. Now, because we're still a little bit squishy and we don't have our secondary area of effect ability yet, you're gonna lose a lot of HP mass pulling the mountain lions, and that's why we bought those rations. You can also use your red clay chunks. These things are pretty much useless, but you know, you might as well eat them. You can't sell them anyway because they're a starter item. Also, if the mountain lions chain stun you, it can also be very dangerous. Use your healing salves if you have to. You can see mine's on cooldown. I had to use mine. It is better to use one healing salve than to lose 25% of all this stuff, by the way. As you get more glint, consolidate it, or, you know, stack it in by right-clicking, turning it into dim glint, and then you can turn that into glowing glint. That way, you're just stacking it up better and better. Alright, once you hit level 7, you have a few choices. Choice number 1 is you could go lightning reload, and what this does, it has a 1-minute cooldown, so I don't really recommend this. It'll let you scatter shot an additional time, and depending on what mobs you are grinding and how high of a damage weapon you have, this might be ideal for killing things as quick as possible. However, for our current level and for mountain lions, the better choice is Vine Field, and the way you're going to be using Vine Field is as follows. So, in most games, when you cast an area of effect spell, you would then left-click to cast it, and that does work. However, in this game, it kind of finagles with your targeting and auto-attack, and I don't know why, but the best course of action to do this is to push the button to cast the spell, and then push the button again to cast the spell. And this is just a big area of effect physical damage attack, scaling off of physical damage, not magic, despite being magic. Now, what this does is, if the target is bleeding, it will then make them hemorrhage, which is a better bleed. So, bleeding is just physical damage over time, and then hemorrhage is more bleed damage every half a second instead, and so it's just way better. So what you're going to do is, after you have dumped your scatter shots, that's when you dump your Vine Field, and that will kill the cluster of lions. So I'll demonstrate that now. So, here we go. Let me make sure I didn't double tap my record button. I hate when I do that. Okay, so we're going to pull, and let's pull a whole bunch. We can pull a ton of these guys. Dodge roll the first pounce. Dodge roll the second pounce. There we go. And, yeah, I'm not dodging those. We're just going to eat them. That's just how it is. Just get eaten by mountain lions in the virtual world. Sounds like an isekai, right? Any anime watchers in the chat? There we go. We're going to do a sick backflip so we can get over here. Pulling this one, and then this one, and this is a good amount to pull. Not too many, right? Because we're about to get pounced on and hurt pretty bad here. Get them all clustered up together. Double scatter. I got pounced, so I only got one scatter. Still got pounced. Second scatter, we're going to cast our Vine Field now. There we go. They're all hemorrhaging, they're rooted, and we can finish them off. And again, we can also do a backflip to DPS everything in front of us as another way of cleaving. Then we're just going to loot everything. Now, that puts us at weapon level, I think, 8? Yes, weapon level 8. Called it. So, for Great Sword, you have Ward, Follow Through, and Keen Edge. I recommend Ward. This is going to give you a block chance, which is really nice for absorbing all these hits. But it's also going to give you temporary health equal to your maximum health. And when we craft a bow, we're going to get a lot of maximum HP. So, Ward is just really the best choice. For your Wanderer's Longbow, you can go with Keen Edge for that crit rate % increase. And there you have it. And you can see, you level pretty fast doing this. I just did, this is just 2 total pulls, and it's 8%. So again, you can level up to 8 with mountain lions very quickly. We need 20 of these Anvil's essences. We also need as much glint as we could freaking hold, so that we can sell these for silver and get everything processed, get the whole thing started. My bags are mostly full. I have gotten insanely lucky with metal, but you won't always. Make sure to grab the mountain lion quest as per usual. Very cool. And we're going to go to the vendor too, and we are going to sell the glint. So we have 40 silver there. It's another 1 and another 5. So we now have 48 silver. That's plenty of silver to process all of these goods. Now, even though I got lucky with the metal, I'm going to show you what to do if you don't, because most of the time you won't. And my rate for being lucky with metal like this is 3 out of 7 times, so less than 50%. But yeah, we're going to go to storage, and just to make everything nice and tidy, we are going to store everything. So we have 15 out of 20 essence, so we're not done grinding yet. We still need to grind more mountain lions or claiborne to get 5 more essence. It won't take that long. We're already, you know, speeding full throttle ahead, but by sorting everything, we can see how much exactly that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to turn stone into sand to get metal. And metal is copper, tendonite, and zinc. That is how we get metal fragments. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to ride over to the furnace. It looks like an anvil icon, all right? And yeah, this thing takes a lot of silver and a lot of time. But we go over to the metalworking station. Again, it's an anvil. Click sand, click crush granite, and we need crag shatter salts and granite. So we go to the smithy vendor, and we go to materials. We type CR for crag, and then I have 40 granite here. I have more, but I'm just going to show you an example. And we're going to buy 40 crag shatter salts. That's going to cost 3 silver, 20 plus tax, 480. 4 silver, 80 copper. Boom, there we go. Now we go to the crafting bench, go to sand, go to crush granite. You'll see that we'll get sand, and then it says 0%, but that's a lie. We have a chance to get copper, zinc, tendonite, and coal. I'm going to drag that quantity slider to 40. Go to granite, add 40 granite. This is going to cost 3 silver, 20 copper, and take 40 minutes of real-life time. Yes, it does take a while, all right? And then what we would do is we would ride down to the other town, right down here at the Hammer Rest Trade Outpost, and we would use that same crafting bench for another stack of stone to process that for also 40 minutes. That way we are doubling our processing speed, okay? But because I have the metal on me, I don't need to do that. So I'm going to take, we got 20 tendonite there, and then I need 13 more, which, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Here, let me right-click this back in. I'm going to do split stack and do 13. There we go, and then move that to the bag. So we have 33. We're going to turn these into 33 metal fragments at the other town. And I am going to go ahead and skip ahead to that part. Once you arrive in this settlement, there's a few things to note. We just completed a destiny objective under Adventurer to travel to another settlement. So we're going to claim that reward because it's 5 glint. And we're going to then vendor that glint immediately because we need the silver. There we go. So now we still have 45 silver. All right. And you'll notice a few things. This is a commission board. This little green little thing you can interact. It's got the same quests as the first town, but they do not share the same cooldown. So you can do all the quests in the first town, come here, do these 4 again before the refresh rate, and then you could double dip on your rewards. Now, there is another commission board over here as well, across the street. This one has a chest next to it. And this one has a, it's bugged. This has been bugged in 4 of my videos. But this would have commissions for gathering. You can chop trees and mine stone and all of that stuff. And you can come here and get these and complete them just like we've been completing the other commissions. But it's bugged. it's always going to be bugged. Anyway, don't let it discourage you. It's an alpha. They'll patch it, right? Okay, so over here, we are going to now turn metal into fragments. And we're using this bench so that, you know, benches are their own thing, right? You can only craft 1 at a time on a novice bench. So we have to use a different town's bench to double dip and craft more. So we're going to craft tendonite fragments. We need smoldering ash and tendonite. Well, I have 33 tendonite, so I need 33 smoldering ash. We can go to the smithy vendor, talk to him, and just type AS for smoldering ash, and then we're going to buy 33 of these bad boys. 3 silver, 96 copper, in it goes. Go back to the bench, go to tendonite fragments, drag that quantity all the way over, add the tendonite. That's going to cost 11 silver, 55 copper, and take 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Yes, it is expensive, and we still need that silver because we still need to turn our wood into timber. Remember, we still have to do that, and the cloth, or the plants into cloth, and we still need to grind mobs. So there's still lots to do. I'm going to go ahead and get the timber started next. Here we are back at the storage clerk. I'm going to be pulling out all of the wood and the sanding powder. There we go. I'm also going to pull out the plant. Did I not store the plants? Oh no, they're in the crafting bench. Yeah, that's right. We were processing those. So yeah, we can go ahead and pick those up if we want. Though we don't need to right now. Actually, no, I'm not going to pick them up. Oh man, look at that bright ass light. Let's get to the the crafting station outside. The sawmill. Let's get the timber onto the mill. Add the timber. There we go. And again, this is 19 silver, 60 copper, 28-minute job. This leaves our money at 10 silver, which is still plenty to play around with, so we are good. But we just need to wait on that wood, the sand, and the metal, and then we can proceed to craft our best-in-slot pre-level 10 non-rarity drop weapons. Also, this 4 wood, you can vendor it, you can throw it away. I'm just gonna toss it. And we could grind mountain lions, but you know, I'm gonna go back and grind the claiborne because they're really easy to kill, and I can pull a whole bunch at a time. And it's a lot faster for me to grind them to get the 5 anvil essence than it is the lions. And remember, we're going to go down the elevator twice to get to them. And I know the top of the screen says mountain lions. It doesn't matter, just grind whatever. And pulling these mobs is pretty easy. You can just do like a spread shot in the middle, hit a bunch there, hit these 2 there. And then, yeah, these guys will knock you down with their little leap attack, but it is what it is. We can then proceed to shoot the guardians on the side here. Go ahead and just start shooting all of them. Getting them pulled. And again, yeah, we can kill all these, no problem. Don't be afraid, right? Do a sick kick flip. Pull these guys over here. And yeah, we're gonna get, you know, jumped on by the laborers, and that's fine. There we go, we're now stunned. It's okay, we got this. So far, we're still good. Get them all in front of us, and then blast them, and then use your vine field, and then start cleaving. And they're rooted, remember, they can't approach us, so we can blast them once again, and now they're all dead. So, with that, you just spam loot, and a real unfortunate loot there. I only got to loot 1 guy, the rest had nothing on them. But you can see, after just a few pulls, I have been getting, like I got a helmet, I got some other stuff, I forget what all I got, but, essence, that's what we're here for. We're for these anvils essence, and I believe I needed 5 more of these. We need 20 total. Alright, so we have a 6 essence, and unfortunately, we got it pretty quick, so our crafting benches are still cooking, which means we would just do more of these quests on the side. Like, we can go ahead and do the bag quest while we're waiting. We could also kill more mountain lions, of course. Am I gonna make that? Ooh, I made it. But yeah, just questing, and I'm gonna go show you the bag crafting quest, because it's important to do. While we're back in town, we are absolutely going to vendor our glint. There we go. Get rid of that glint. And we are going to then store everything that we got so we can get it ready for crafting and sorting. Alright, so our cloth should be sitting pretty here in the bench from a while back when we first started. It is ready to go. 23 coarse thread, we're going to claim that. And remember, we get regular XP for processing goods, so this does help you level up, alright? Also, it completed a Destiny reward, which should be under Crafter. Yeah, there it is. That's going to give us a glint, so again, every bit of glint helps. And what we need to do is, I believe I had the Drat White wax in storage, so I got to go get that. So, this is what I get for playing at 4 in the morning. You need the wax for making the cloth, which we just collected. Duh. Anyway, so what we got to do now is we need to purchase 2 Packrite Universal Strap sets. So we're going to go to the Textile Mill Vendor, and then you can just type the word PA for pack. We're going to buy 2 of these because we're going to craft 2 bags. It's pretty cheap. 24 copper. Then we're going to go right next here to the tailoring station. This looks like a spool of, I don't know, string. We're going to click bag, click simple rucksack, add the 5 coarse thread. You can only craft 1 at a time, costs 75 copper. There we go, that completes the quest. We're going to craft a second one, though. There we go. Because we want 2 bags. Awesome, we did it. Alright, since we're not going to be gathering or mining for a while, we are going to swap our bags with the ones we crafted. So yeah, they're not as big, but they are good for mob grinding. Yeah, very, very good stuff. With that, we are then going to turn in the quest to Provisioner Hammersong, showing that we crafted the bag. He also wants us to now haul a trade pack, which you should not risk hauling the trade pack with stuff in your inventory. This means go to the vendor, sell your glint that you got from the quest, store your coarse thread at storage, because when you pick up that trade pack, you lose your PvP protection, and people will gank you knowing that you have stuff in your inventory. But if you store it all, they get nothing, and you get an XP penalty, but so will they, because the guards will jump and kill them. So, just to be safe, store everything before doing that follow-up quest. Just like before, when you carry a trade pack, the optimal way to carry it without a pack mule, because we don't have that yet, or a beast of burden mount, is to do combat dodge rolls. There you go. Just do a combat dodge roll every time you have the stamina. And what we have to do is we have to transport this across the hallway. So we're going to be going towards the icons aren't showing. That's a bug. Just open and close your map. That'll refresh the icons. It's the room with the mailbox and the stonemasonry table and all that stuff. But you know where the storage is. It's right over there. So we're going to continue over into this room. And there are people that ask me in my comments, how do I do this quest? And they don't even do this quest because they couldn't find out where to turn it in. So I have to show them. I'm sorry. I know. But you're not going to talk to this NPC. That's just... I don't know why there's an exclamation point here. You don't turn the quest into this NPC. There's nothing to do. You have to go to the scaffolding, and that's where you deliver the crate. There we go. We delivered the crate, and then we will run back to the NPC that gave us the quest, and then get the follow-up from there. Here we are back at Provisioner Hammersong, calling us a hoe. That's the joke. There we go. And then we will get the follow-up quest back to Commander Dune's chasm in the middle of the, the area here that we initially reported to, standing on his table to be extra rude, get our muddy footprints everywhere. He gives us a quest now to go to the Veinbreaker mines. At this point, we don't want to go to the Veinbreaker mines without our best-in-slot weapons, because it's a higher-level dangerous area, right? Now, from doing these quests, we got 4 reward chests. We have 2 weapon boxes and 2 potion boxes. So we're going to start with the potion box. You might as well... there's no reason to pick the same potion twice. It's a recipe. We're going to pick Arcane, and then we will pick the Might Potion. Those are the only 2 choices, and learn those recipes. Now, this is super important. If you mess this up, you are screwing yourself out of best-in-slot early-game weapons. Go to Recipes of Weapons box, open it, and the first one you're going to learn is Wayward Longbow. There we go. The second one, you're going to learn the Wayward Great Sword. These are our 2 best-in-slot weapons that will make us super powerful until we hit level 10, and then we can grind Minotaurs and farm better gear from those guys, maybe if they drop. But that's pretty much the game at the moment. So now with these recipes, we can start crafting the things that we need to process them into better things. And that starts with 3 weapon molds, which we will need to pull some granite out of storage, but we need the timber to be complete, so that is what we're waiting on. We're waiting on for our timber to be processed, which would have been processed at the start of the game had my internet not cut out and killed me. Oops. But for me, I have 6 minutes. That means I can go get a drink, a snack, whatever I want. For you, it means I'm going to hit stop record and then fast forward time for you. Now, something else we're going to need is fish. We're going to need 8 fish. And to get fish, we're going to go down near the mines here. So this is how you do it. South from the Hammer Rest Trade Outpost, we're going to take the rightmost fork down this road, all the way south until we get to the river. We're going to jump into the river from the cliff, and then we're going to swim to the shoreline and fish for 8 fish. Fishing will take 3 to 6 minutes. It really depends on luck, and I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so you just jump your mount into the river, it will take no fall damage, and then you swim to shore. That's one way to do it. The risky way to do it, and hope you don't lag or anything, is to just unsummon your mount right before you hit the ground, and that'll prevent all the fall damage. So let's try it out. So here we go, and we did it. There we go. We took no fall damage. The mount is absolutely fine, perfectly healthy, and we're down here, down by the river, if you played Baldur's Gate 3. So here's how to fish. Get near the water, push the K button, go to your skill book, click down here where it says Artisan, you're going to click Fishing, then click Regular Fishing. Just drag it to your hotbar, and whenever you push this button, you will now start AFK Auto Fishing. You don't have to push any button inputs, there's no quick time event, there's no combos or having to hold the mouse button down, nothing. Once you catch a fish, it will automatically start fishing once again. Fish in your inventory will take up a 1x2 slot, and we need 8 of them because we're going to process them into oil. Fishing is great before you're level 10, but once you hit level 10, you lose that PvP protection, and people love to assume that people fishing are AFK, and they will gank you and take your stuff. So that is just part of the course. I don't recommend leveling fishing if you're a solo player because it's a very group-based activity. You get a bunch of lads together, you go out into a lake, you throw down some chum, you fish for an hour, you transport all the big trophy fish back. That's sport fishing. You also get a big boat, you go out into the ocean, and then pirates come and get you and kill you and take all your fish, and they sell it all, and you have nothing. It's Arc Age all over again if you ever played that game. But yeah, just sit here and fish until you get 8 fish. Alright, it's been 5 minutes. I paced around in circles around my apartment, took a piss, got 8 fish, we're good. And before we go, since it's daytime, let me show you where Veinbreaker Mines is. We're going to come back here when we have our weapons, but when you jump into the river, you just take a hard east along the wall, and the entrance is right here in this little V shape. So it looks like this, you just follow along the wall, and there's some trees in the way, but the entrance is right here. And I'm playing at 4 in the morning on a Tuesday, so there's not really many people here right now, but if you play during prime time, there's going to be a lot of people here, there's going to be groups of people here, there's going to be high levels here farming rare materials. So I'm going to talk about optimal farming routes inside the mines later. Now that we have the fish, we can craft it into fish oil, which is how we're going to craft our bow. I guess you got to lube up the bow or something. But if we go to the crafting, the cooking bench, which looks like a cooking pot, you go to oil, and then we go to frost flash oil. We will need grease weft cloth. This is actually bought from the laboratory and not the cooking vendor. So the laboratory in every town is located usually near the magical staff icon, which is this thing. This is a magic staff, right? And this is called the Arcane Engineering Station. So the vendor, a laboratory vendor. I don't know if it's laboratory or laboratory. But we just need grease weft. Yeah, we need 8 of these. So we're going to go ahead and buy 8 of these bad boys. There we go. And purchase them. Sell the glint that we got from questing earlier, whatever. All right, now we're going to take this grease weft cloth, which I've never heard of in my freaking life. Right? You know, first world problems, I suppose. And turn it into, make some oil, whatever. Quantity goes to 8, add the fish. It's going to cost 2.8 silver and 4 minutes worth of time. And while that's cooking, we could kill stuff nearby. You could gather for quests. You could do whatever you want, but I'm just going to hit stop record and fast forward for you. Now, while we're down here, we're going to go ahead and claim these 33 Tendonite fragments. There we are. That gave us regular XP, metalworking XP. And you'll notice the destinies for processing. We completed process 50 materials, giving us 5 glint, 1,000 XP. You also have this one for 2 extra glint. That's going to give us more silver so that we can process more goods. So I'm going to go ahead and just, again, when you get the glint, you sell it early on because you need every freaking penny. All right, our fish oil should be about done. All right, fish oil is complete, and now we're going to head back to, whoops, didn't mean to shoot there. My bad, just shooting in town. Let's head back to Hammer Rest and get this all cobbled together. Alright, the wood is complete, and this comes with wood chips, which we won't be using, but it's just extra stuff you can sell to players or use later in your other crafting ventures. I'm going to pull out everything we need for crafting, so we need 20 anvils essence, we need the 13 coarse thread, I'm going to need 3 granite, which I'm just going to pull out a stack of 20. And the reason we need granite is we need to make a weapon mold. So to do that, we go over to this little brick icon. This is the stone masonry table, and it will automatically open armor mold. Close that. You want weapon mold, and you want granite weapon mold. You could use basalt too, it doesn't matter, but we're using granite for the video. We need 3 granite, 3 processed timber, and 3 binding resin. You can buy the binding resin from the Stoneworks vendor right behind us here. And B for binding resin, we need 3 of them. There we go, go ahead and buy that. Awesome. And again, make absolutely sure that you do not craft the armor mold. Craft weapon mold. I accidentally did that in a video. Super embarrassing. Alright, we add 3 timber. This is going to take 1 silver, 5 copper, and take 1 minute and 30 seconds, which is over already. Alright, and then we grab the weapon mold, and now it's time to craft our weapons. So the first place we are going to go is the weapon smithing bench. So here's how this works. It's right over here next to the anvil icon. You know where the anvil icon is by now. But over here there is a hammer and a sword crossing. This is the weapon smithing station. We're going to craft the wayward greatsword, or the wayward sword. I swear it used to be called greatsword, but wayward sword. It's a 2-handed sword. And these are the ingredients we need. Now, sword's final touches, where do you get that? Well, if you mouse over it, it says from the smithy. So if we go over to the smithy vendor, which my mount is in front of, we can type SW for sword and then buy that for 8 copper. What a deal. There we go. Alright, now we can craft the sword. So we're going to add the metal fragments. There we go. We're going to add the timber, add the weapon molds we just made, and the tin essence. This will cost 75 copper, and boom, recrafted it. So I want you to see how powerful this sword is. We go from 397 physical to 693, 34 strength to 59. We also get 42 constitution, that's HP. And we get more physical attack speed, and we lose some physical crit power, but that's fine. So, check it out. Boom, we just got a big chunk of health, and we're about to get another big chunk of health too. Now, very important that your old sword, you sell it. We don't want that old sword anymore, okay? Now, we're going to go outside to the woodworking station and craft a longbow. Yippee! So, right out here, we have the hand saw. This is the saw that you would grab with your hands. You obviously wouldn't grab a table saw with your hands. But we are going to now craft the longbow. And there is a tutorial button that's in the way, so I'm going to skip that real quick. There we go. Longbow. Here it is. Wayward longbow. We have the fish oil, the thread, the timber, the essence. We just need a longbow final touches, which you can go to the woodshop vendor and type LO for longbow. Buy that longbow final touches. There we go. We got it. Same deal, just like before. We're going to then, add all of the ingredients. Awesome stuff. There's the fish oil and the essence. All of this hard work is culminated into a very powerful bow. There it is. Let me show you what we just made. We go from 447 physical power to 779, 50 crit to 86 crit power. We get 59 strength, and instead of crit defense, which who cares, the mobs aren't going to crit us, we're too low level, whatever. We get 251 max HP. So put that bad boy on, sell that old bow, that old crappy bow, and if you have anything else that you don't need, go ahead and sell that too. Like I've got these boots, this chest piece, this helmet, this stabby sword, these other random weapons that I've just been getting, these earrings or necklaces rather. I don't need any of this stuff. We're just going to sell all of it because, again, we want to consolidate all of our money that that we have. Sort our inventory a bit. And yeah, let's see. Learn any recipes we can learn. There we go. Everything is nice and sorted. But yeah, we now have at level 7, not even level 10, we have 1,344 HP. We're not a tank. We're not a fighter. We're a freaking ranger, and we have a lot of HP. We have like over 500 more HP than someone else our level. If anyone dares mess with you that is your level and did not do this quest or this method to get these weapons, you can absolutely roll them over in PvP. There's nothing they can do to stop you. But before we head out to the Veinbreaker mines to do some quests and for grinding, we are going to buy some consumables. First up, head over to the laboratory vendor next to the magic staff icon, and they sell salves, so you're going to buy some of those. They sell scrolls, buff scrolls. You have Constitution, that's HP, Strength, Intelligence, and Mentality. Unfortunately, they don't have Dexterity for some reason, which is a bummer, but Strength is still damage, so we're going to buy some Strength ones. And each of these buff scrolls, you can only have one active at a time. They last 3 real-life hours. We're going to spend 5 silver buying all of that stuff. There we go. Now we're going to go back outside, and we're going to go to the cooking crafting bench area and buy some food buffs. Over here at the cookhouse vendor, we have rations. Remember those? We're going to buy some of those. We have a fresh salad for physical power. We're going to buy some of those. You can only have 1 food buff at a time, by the way. If you want, if you're a spellcaster, you got fruit salad. If you are a tank, you have blackberry compote, but it is what it is. Also note, some of these vendors sell gathering shirts, so, you know, don't be too afraid to buy those if you're into gathering. So we're going to spend a 6.5 silver, and don't worry, we're going to make this money back super duper quick at the Veinbreaker mines. So remember where the Veinbreaker mines are? Well, we're going to follow the road south. At the fork, we're going to take the right side, go down to the river, jump in the river, and then cross to the shore. Follow the wall east, and that's how we get to the mines. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to us getting there, and I'll show you some tips and tricks. I found a dead body, so if I loot this, and he's level 7, and he's a bard, so I can definitely take his ass. Oh, come on, there's a raven getting me. Get out of here, raven. Yeah, we chunked the hell out of this raven, and this is a level 6 raven. Yeah, it just melts. Anyway, so we can see what's on his body without becoming a criminal, right? But he might... Ooh, he's got rubies and tendonite and daffodils, and look at all this stuff he's got. Yes, yoink. So you'll notice I have now a PvP flag icon next to my name. It's purple. He probably logged out and the raven got him. But who knows. Anyway, so this PvP flag icon means that even though it says I have PvP protection, I'm technically flagged up. People can attack me, and guards will also attack me if I get near like a settlement. So it'll go away in 3 to 5 minutes. And the thing is, these materials will say stolen on them, and they won't be worth as much, even though most of this stuff is, well, stolen anyway, whatever. I also forgot to stash all my wood chips and other things when I was in town, but it doesn't matter. I'm not playing this character after this video. I don't really like Ranger. I'm going to be real. I'm just making it because people keep asking me to make this video. But let's talk about Veinbreaker mines. You know what I just realized? This is like the 7th guide video. I've been calling it Veinbreaker mines. It's Veinbreaker mines. Uh-oh. No one corrected me on this. I know your screen's dark, and I'm sorry, there's not much I can do about that, but when you're inside the mines, the entrance has some elites that are kind of annoying to deal with, and they're tanky, so they're going to have a lot of HP. This is kind of to scare off people from the mines, but you'll just have to deal with them. I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy super duper quick. That I have so many defenses and HP that my HP is still full, and he dropped 2 green glint and 3 regular glint, so yes, the drops are absolutely worth it in here. But my favorite route is to go a hard right. I'm going to grab this little quest item. There's like a smoldering ore there. I know it's dark. I'm sorry. Nothing I can do about it. Increase your gamma. But taking a hard right, you have this ledge that you can jump up to, and there are these rocklings. And these guys are really good for AoE farming, XP farming. I have to be careful because there is an elite spawn, and because it's 4 in the morning, no one's probably cleared it. His name is Calcitooth, and if we see him, we cannot fight all of these rocklings and him at the same time. I mean, we could, but it'd be rather difficult. So I'm just going to run along and hit all of the rocklings, and then we're going to kill them all at once, just like we would, you know, with the mountain lions. So there we go. And again, these rocklings are higher level. They're not harder. They're not stronger, but they have a good loot table and everything. So absolutely grab and yoink all that loot. And yeah, so my favorite route, let me show you where the elites spawn. So right here where you see this little minecart, Calcitooth will patrol this hallway when he's up. I guess he's not up right now for some reason, but for going further down, animists, these are spellcasters, so I like to take them out first. And again, they're very easy to take out. We have a lot of firepower, so they just die like really, really fast. I didn't even have to use my abilities, but for all the melee ones, I will, again, I'm just going to pull them all like I would and AoE them down as per usual. There we go. Now, these rocklings get bugged and they won't move, and over here we have elite animists, which I will not move near. I do not want to fight the elite animists. We can kill them. They're just not worth the trouble of killing, okay? So just keep that in mind. There we go. And again, these guys are rooted, so I can go ahead and just start blasting. And then melee, and you're just gonna kind of trade melee for your auto attacks. Refresh the cooldown of scatter shot, and that's why we melee instead of infinitely kiting around. Now you could also again use your ranged combo, but it's less DPS. There's no reason not to. And yeah, these guys are elites. They have the star next to the name, and they're actual elites. They're not like the mountain lions that are just pretending, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. By the way, if I hemorrhage this guy and then I use a barrage, that actually makes the cooldown even shorter, so just keep that in mind as well. You can see this on the tooltip too. Each hit against bleeding targets reduces cooldown by 0.1, double against hemorrhaging targets. So, yeah. There's like a lag wall here. I don't know what it is, but also I shouldn't mass pull when I'm at half HP, but I think I can take this. No problem. Oh, maybe not. There's 3 Cinderclay Diggers. We also have the Sentinel. I think we got this. I'm pretty sure we're good. There we go. Do a little cool backflip. Do some shots. These guys are gonna do a leap attack at me. Dodge 2 out of 3. It's fine. We're fine. Let's do one more combo. Hit our scatter shots. Boom and boom. No, I'm stuck. No, I'm out of mana. I'm out of mana. I was not watching my mana, but I think I can slug it out with this guy without dying. Yeah, we're fine. We're absolutely fine. There we go. Cool. Alright, loot these bozos and eat a ration. Why not? Also, another lag wall. You can see my mouse moving, so it's the game. Let's get rid of these red clay chunks, actually. Get them out. Get them out of here. As you go deeper, the second elite spawn, I think they're called elites. They're 2-star mobs, alright? He's over here. Is he being a... Yeah, he might be being farmed by this big pound guy. Nope. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's right over here where you see, like, 3 minecarts. This area will spawn 2 different types of enemies. Oh, there's one, the chain wound. I kind of want to pull him. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to kite chain wound. Chain wound is, we got to kite him, alright? It's that's just how it is. And again, we can kite him with bleed. I accidentally pulled one of the elites, and that's okay. It looks like this rogue is going to help me kill him. I got the mob tag, so I'm getting the XP and I'm getting the loot. These guys are absolutely worth killing too, by the way. So I'm actually going to try to root him here, just like this. There we go. So he's aggroing the rogue right now, so I'm going to handle this sentinel. That way the sentinel's not DPSing me down, while I'm also splashing him with my shot. But there will always be someone here to save you. Feel free to use your consumables on these guys. Oh, I tanked that. I should not have tanked that. But you can see he only hit for 150, which is not too bad. Totally doable. Clobbering swing, let's dodge roll that. And, did I not get the tag on that? It says I killed him, and I got nothing for it. So I guess the rogue stole the tag. Must have been the lag or something. I swear I shot first, and I know that I did half of its HP, so I should have got credit for that, but what can you do? Can't win them all, I guess. But yeah, that's the second 2-star elite mob spawn. These guys give around 9,000 experience a kill. You can see that I only need 11,000 to level up, so that would have gotten me real close. But again, these mobs, they're super easy. Just be careful of the elite, the 1-star mobs. If you pull too many, they can cause some issues. Also be aware of clerics too. The clerics will keep, everything healed. And the mages also. Like, I want to kill the mage first because the mage deals the most damage. And I can out DPS the cleric. But, in future content or higher level content, you're not always going to be able to do that. But yeah, these things just absolutely get destroyed. We just outgear the whole area. We also technically out-level it. This is what makes leveling here so hyper freaking efficient. And the loot is just so good. There's no reason to ever go back to Mountain Lions. The only reason would be if this zone is too crowded. If there's like parties of 8 or really high-level players farming materials here, then obviously the XP per hour is going to suck. Now, if you want to know how fast you can level doing this, from level 8 to 9 will be about 45 minutes if you have the zone mostly to yourself. From levels 9 to 10, it's going to take slightly more than double that time. So estimate about 2 to 2.5 hours, depending, again, how crowded or busy the zone is. But at level 10, Yeah, with this gear, you could technically go farm Minotaurs if you want, and but that's a topic for another video. But yeah, just run around the mines. Make sure that you time the 2-star mobs. They respawn every 5 to 8 minutes, about sometimes 15. It's really iffy, right? Like, there's no real telling. But if you don't, oh, the mob stunned me. But if you don't feel like, you know, doing proper skill rotation, just mash your skills. At such a low level, you're not in a party. No one's gonna judge you with some DPS meter or whatever. Just mash the buttons while you're watching YouTube or cartoons or a stream or something. You know, whatever makes you freaking happy in life, I guess. Also, I messed up my rotation there. Who's gonna remember? In 10 years, are you gonna remember? Oh, random YouTuber Swole Benji messed up his rotation. I can't wait for a comment 10 years from now, assuming I'm alive. Haha, you missed your skill rotation, dude. Someone's gonna freaking do it. But anyway, I'm gonna grind to level 8 now real quick. So as your weapons level up, you can do duration of weapon procs. That's what I generally like to do. You could also just go with extra, you know, crit strike chance and damage. It's not very helpful. These choices don't matter all that much. Calcitooth, I'm pulling him at low HP because there's a player nearby, and you really want to range this guy and bleed him out and kite him outside. So he has Haymaker. This means he will attack in front of him in a cone, doing a diving punch attack. And yeah, he does hit hard. He also has Rock Throw, which you have to dodge roll. Right before Rock Throw hits, I'm going to do a dodge roll. There we go, and that missed. And he threw twice for some reason. I don't know. But we're going to get him outside. I'm also going to pop a potion. Again, don't be afraid of using Consumables. He's doing Earth Splitter. That's a cone attack in front of him. That's new. That wasn't always there, I swear. But yeah, we're going to be kiting him. So again, just use your abilities and kite him outside. Now, do mind the damn elites at the entrance. Normally they're not there. But again, we can kite. As long as we don't attack the the other guy, we should be alright. Now he's doing Earth Splitter again. I managed to... I don't think that hit me, so I think I'm good. Yeah, we're going to take this outside now. And again, it's just a kite off, right? He's doing Haymaker. I think I did get the root, so that's good. Now, I've already dealt at least half of his HP, so we're fine to... let's get the dodge roll here for Rock Throw. Okay, he's throwing 2... He didn't used to throw 2 rocks. I guess they updated the mob. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Earth Splitter, we're gonna, you know, get away from the front of him. And he's pretty much dead. Okay, we kited a little too far because he's starting to run back now. And, yeah, bummer there. But, that's how you fight Calcitooth. So I'm just gonna, you know... go back. He normally doesn't let go of aggro as long as you're actively attacking him, so it's weird for him to leash like that. However, you also have a stealth attack or a stealth ability, so you can stealth through and you can go into like caves and fight the elites if you want. So we're gonna melee Calcitooth this time with some of his rocklings, which aren't gonna be much of a problem. There we go. Again, we're just gonna take them on like we normally would, and we're just gonna circle strafe around as we slash them. And this works just as much as kiting. Again, we have the gear to be able to take this guy on, no problem. And also weave in, you know, shots. And again, make sure you dodge those rock throws. That's pretty much the only threatening attack he's got. As long as you don't stand in front of him, you should be absolutely fine. There's Haymaker. I'm standing behind him. Again, not gonna hit me. We're all right. Also, don't forget to mark him so you can get some evasion. I didn't do that the last fight because I was kiting, but if we're going to take him into a melee fight, you want that evasion. So there we go. We dodged both rocks. But yeah, he only used to throw 1 rock. I think that's cool that they're updating the mobs to be able to do more stuff. I think it's neat, but what do y'all think? There's Haymaker, and again, let's get him rooted here. He slid out of the root for some reason. We got the bleed stack. And our mana's about half right now. He's doing Rock Throw again, get ready to dodge, and I don't have any more stamina for dodge, so I had to eat that one. I could potion here. I don't think I need to. There's Haymaker, and that should miss. Awesome. Alright, yeah. Again, we're just face tanking, we're just meleeing them out. And again, it's a 2-star mob. There's Rock Throw, get ready for the dodge, and dodge, dodge. So the way, if I didn't explain it already, the way dodge works in this game, initially, is that You get a 100% chance to evade whenever you cast your dodge roll for the first hit. But once you have it maxed out, it's for the entire duration of your dodge roll. So there we go. This is Calcitooth. When he dies, he's going to spawn little baby mobs, and then we're going to kill those. Now, used to... Also, there's 9,898 XP for killing him. Absolutely worth doing, by the way. And he always drops a rare crafting material called... let me loot slowly here so I can do it. Oh, I don't have any room. Look at that. My inventory's full. Oh, of course it is. We gotta, you know, unstack these things. There we go. Yeah. So he drops... Where's it at? Well, this time he dropped a glowing glint. This is 10 silver. But he also drops the tension canister, too. And again, he also dropped... This is 15... 7... That's what? Yeah, it's 15 silver and a tension canister. Rare crafting material. So always, always, always kill Calcitooth. I love patrolling this little rockling hallway because it's just so much XP. And it's very easy to farm. They have really good drops. Lots of glint, lots of XP. There's no reason not to do it. I'll show you the full pull. We're just going to make sure that we hit them all once so that our mob tag does not get stolen. We're going to do a cool backflip and run over and grab the rest of the guys here. Slash these two. And again, your great sword has a very big cleaving arc. So it's very easy to pull a lot of them. Alright, that should be everything. Should be all the rocklings. And we're just going to spray them with our bow. Hit them with the root. Now they're hemorrhaging, even though they're rock monsters. We got another scatter shot there, boom. Also, by the way, we hit level 8, and you know what that means. That means, well, I don't know why I opened that. You can now do lightning reload. So, lightning reload is really cool, because now we can get another scatter shot in while it's on cooldown. And yeah, that's what we're using it for, an instant cast ability. Now, obviously, you can play however you want. If you want to do some single-target shenanigans, you can go, like, snipe and headshot and blah, blah, blah. And then you could do lightning reload on snipe again, but nah, dude. It's way better to use lightning reload on your scatter shot for AoE farming. And you could also use it for barrage, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can also use it to reset barrage if you need to. There's a whole lot that you can do. And at level 8, you get Strider. So, yeah, this allows you to increase your movement speed, so it's not like World of Warcraft where you get dazed in cheetah form or whatever. Boom. Now we just have a flat extra 10% movement speed, which is really, really nice. We can also then activate Sprint and move even faster. Now you can pull these caves even quicker than you were before. So, yeah, that is the Ranger, level 1 to 8. To level, look, I'm already 14% into level 9. I killed Calcitooth and I did one Rockling pull, and that's, you know, it's a lot, dude. It's so much. You're gonna level super fast here. You're gonna fill up your freaking bags full of glint. Like, you're just gonna have so much glint to sell. You're gonna get lots of Anvil Essence to trade. Take your Anvil Essence, take it south to the Riverlands, and trade. People will pay oodles for it. You also want to come here with empty bags. I did not. My bad. Whoopsie. I also stole a bunch of stuff from a guy that died. That's why my bags are kind of full anyway. But you get the idea. This is how you level up. 1 to 10, very easy on Ranger. It's a super easy class to play. It's not my favorite class. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Ranger is okay. I think it's a really good class for kiting mobs outdoors, not so much indoors. I think indoors Rogue is the best. And some of the best mobs are indoors that I've seen so far. There are some outdoor mobs, though. Again, there's still a lot more to discover and learn about this game. Who knows truly what the best class is? The best class is whatever class you enjoy playing the most. And if you click this video, then you obviously want to be a ranger and shoot a bow and be Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Or no, not Aragorn. Aragorn's the fighter. Legolas, that's the ranger. Anyway, you get what I'm saying, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And I do not want rapid reload on my 3 key. I want it on, like, Shift Q. That's where I would put that. No, that's not where I would put that. I'll do Shift 4. I think that's a good spot. Anyway, that's all I've got, guys. I hope you learned something. Please do me a few favors. Favor number 1, leave a like. I know I'm a YouTuber, don't ask for likes. The reason why is that this is a sandbox MMORPG. And there are people out there that want to gatekeep information. They don't want you smart and strong and high-leveled. They want you stupid and dumb and in a guild serving them and sniffing their farts and slurping on their toes and bending your knee, okay? That's what they want. And so when people like me come along that teach you how to level up fast, completely solo, completely efficiently, they're going to whinge and cry on Reddit and be like, it's not a solo game, it's an MMO. You got to play with people. Join my guild, join my guild. And they're going to downvote this video because they disagree with solo players being independent and all that kind of stuff. So by, you know, clicking the thumbs up button, you do help me a good, great, massive amount, and I do appreciate it. Secondly, what I want you to do is, there's a video on the right side of your, oh wait, no, we're not saying that yet. Whoops. Instead, listen, I have no life, I have no friends, I have no family, no obligation to do anything. All I do all day is refresh my YouTube comments and read the top comment, okay? I read every comment. So if you have any questions about anything in this game, just drop a comment. And so I'm going to read the most recent comment from the most recent comment. And if you want to be the most recent comment, then leave lots of comments. And while I make a video, I might read yours out. This comment is from King Duck, 16 minutes ago, commented on an Arc Raiders video saying, he's quoting something I said in the video. He says, dude, turned around, I was right behind him, I just unloaded right into him. So that's the comment. With that said, finally, guys, click the video on the right side of your screen. If you do, you're going to get a raise at work. And if you don't work, well, hell yeah, brother. Neat life, baby. Bonus footage at level 9, you got a couple choices. You can go for Hunt of the Tiger for crit rate, or you can simply just go to Reinvigorating Disengage so that you can cast this twice in combat, which is 2 frontal cone AoE attacks or 2 totally badass kickflip dodges. It is what it is. Also, for free, you can always put in omnidirectional disengage so that you disengage where you're looking. It really depends on your playstyle. It's just there for people that play different MMOs than World of Warcraft or Arcade, I suppose. Forgot to give you a kiss on your forehead. Mwah. That was a bad one. Let me try again. Mwah. Kiss on your forehead. See you later, folks.